Right everyone, welcome back. So in today's video, I want to give a 30-day update on my tank, my fish, everything that's been going on, everything that's worked for me, everything that's changed. I just want to give everyone a look at what I've been doing, what I've changed, what I've kept the same, what's been working, what hasn't. And I want to explain my keep it stupidly simple philosophy, method. Well, I don't know how you define it, but basically I keep saying I want to keep everything stupidly simple. The reason why I use the word stupidly is because I want to be able to do things without thinking about it. If I need to do it, I just do it without worrying and stressing myself out, making things complicated. My goal is to just make everything stupidly simple, keep everything stupidly simple. So then I just keep doing everything automatically, and just the process of keeping goldfish is automatic, it's easy. And then when I start getting into breeding, I don't have to worry about the basic goldfish maintenance. I'm already doing it automatically, and then I can move on to the more exciting, maybe advanced, if you want to use that term. I don't know how you define it, but that's my goal, make everything simple. Let's get into it. So where are we up to after 30 days? So I've been running the Fluval 3.0 lights over the tank. They're only running at like 15-20%. I'm using them for the spread, so rather than the intensity. I've already got the lights, so I may as well use them, so I haven't changed the lights. I've added pothos. Glenn from GP Shrimp gave me some of this, so I've added it to the tank. It's sprouted from here that way in the last month, and then there's some peace lily down there. I'm just going to leave that to get on with it. I've added a few bits of floating plants, some Amazon frog bit and some water lettuce knocking around on the top. There's that in there just to help pull out some nutrients more than anything. Auto feeder, I've changed that. I was feeding at 8 o'clock in the morning and then 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And I've changed it to a feed at 2 in the afternoon and 8 in the evening, because I'm usually quite busy in the evening. We'll come on to the feeding a bit more in a bit. It suits when I can feed a little better. So the fish themselves, they've I think they've grown a lot in the last 30 days, like so. This one hasn't here, so I'm going to nickname him Space Monkey. I think that's his nickname, or hers. The Nubius, got all this, they look like blackbeard algae, but that seems to have gone, but it's still like a fuzzy stuff, but it doesn't look great. The new stuff looks fine. The Nubius has been growing quite well. That's a new leaf there, that's a new leaf there, there's a new leaf there, there's a new leaf coming up just in there. There's plenty of new growth, so it's doing well. But yeah, that's the fish. They seem to be growing well, enjoying themselves, so that's the main thing. I'm running the tank bare bottom. Seems to be working really well. Only a Nubius flowered. So yeah, running the tank bare bottom. It seems to I enjoy doing this with goldfish because it's easier to clean up the mess. I mean, there's still like little bits of particulate everywhere, but I can get most of it out when I do a water change. I've been doing water change every 2 or 3 days. I've literally been dropping the water level down to the plants, down to, so all the leaves are out the water, and then filling it back up every 2 or 3 days to keep the water pristine, because my goal is to grow them out as fast as I can. So now the filtration, the sump, what have we been doing in here? So I'm still running filter socks, 100 micron filter socks. Water comes down the pipe into the filter sock, and then down up through this baffle and over. Let's see if I can get it through all these bio balls, through the first heater, and then into here. And then we've got matrix that I took out of a tidal, some bio balls out of a tidal, there's some ceramic rings there out of the canister filter, and then the bio balls. What I'm thinking of doing is removing some of the bio balls from the filtration and adding alpha grog, because arguably alpha grog's it's got pores in it, so it can pull out, create anaerobic bacteria and processes nitrates, apparently. I don't know whether it actually can, but just the fact that it's a natural media that the beneficial bacteria actually colonise naturally. Plastic's not something the bacteria evolved to grow on, is it? So I don't know, it just seems like a better idea for filter media than plastic balls. And then I've got what you call it, filter bags from front to back full of oyster shells with pumps making a strange rattling noise at the moment. I've got more media bags of crushed oyster shells at the back. I just added also, I thought I might as well get it in there. And then I've got Purigen at the back. And then this filter, stripped out all the filter media and just left sponges in there. I doubled up on most of the sponges. Not really a fan of canister filter, to be honest. It's just anxious about opening it. Every time I open it, I find a leak or something. Something always goes wrong. That's why I've got it on a cloth, because there's always water coming out of these handles every now and again. So I just don't feel confident with it, because it's water under pressure under something that's clearly not sealed properly. So for me, that's something I'm not too pumped about, you know. I don't really appreciate it leaking everywhere. So considering what to do with that, but I'm not happy with it ultimately. Feeding. First of all, I've been feeding this Sakiokari. I've been feeding this every day, twice a day, as a staple. I've used this for like 10 years, so I'll keep using this. Stubbs from Stubbs Aquatics recommended Northfin, so I had a look at the Goldfish, and it's pretty similar to this. It's just this has got like stuff for the good bacteria and stuff in it. So the list of ingredients was essentially the same, but I thought I'll give the Northfin Veggie a whirl. So I've got a 50-50 mix of these and the auto feeder, so that it's feeding them every day. So I've got both of them going in twice a day as a staple diet. And then obviously my philosophy is I like to feed 50-50 mix of protein and animal proteins and vegetable, which is protein. I ordered this sushi, the dried algae, and to be honest, the goldfish haven't really eaten it. I've been putting it on the glass on the tank, but it's been like blowing upwards in the flow, because the flow comes out. I see like the flow comes out both the canister and the sump, and then it kind of moves around in a circle, and then it comes up, so that it kind of blows the food the way like the sheet upwards. So, and the goldfish aren't used to eating there anyway, so they just don't touch it. So I think it's more of a problem with my setup rather than the fish eating it. They're not used to eating there, they're used to eating off the bottom of the tank. So I think that's the main problem, but they haven't gone for it, so I kind of binned it off. But because I just wanted to like feed them stuff that they already know, stuff that they'll eat. So I'm not like kind of feeding them meals that they don't eat and then pulling the food out. I'd rather just get as much food in them as I can. I'm trying to grow them on at the moment, so I want to get as much food and water changes done as possible without messing around trying to get them to eat stuff that they're naturally not eating. So, but yeah, that's where I'm up to with that. I've kind of bin that off for now. I'm not feeding that. Frozen foods. I've been feeding brine shrimp with garlic. I've been feeding bloodworm plus vitamins, and then I've steamed a load of egg. I've froze that, so I just I feed them like half a cube of this every once a week. So they'll get this once a week, this once a week, this once a week. And then I've also got some frozen peas deep in. I've cooked them, I've de-shelled them. So I just need to thaw them out and feed them. I know I always say, I've said a lot, I don't feed peas, but it might have been how I was prepping them with my last fish, but they weren't eating them. I think they were still quite hard, but these I've cooked them so they're quite mushy. So as soon as the goldfish get to them, and they nail them straight away, and then they just seem to appreciate the peas a lot more. They weren't eating that. I needed some veg to flush the systems out. So I've been feeding this once a week. Or I've been feeding protein, veg, and then protein, veg. I've also been feeding this, the Rapashi gel food. So I've been making that up and then swapping, so we'll get a protein day, and then a veg day, and then a protein day, and then Rapashi, which I kind of, it's soil and green, so I kind of associate it as a veg, even though obviously it's proteins and stuff, but palm proteins. But that's basically what I've been feeding at the moment. So that's basically where we're up to. I've kind of explained everything that's gone on at the moment. I've been doing big water changes every few days, but I'm keeping it as simple as I can. I don't know whether you've seen me shorts, but I'm just literally popping one of these in with a hose on that runs straight to a drain outside, a rainwater drain, and I'm just draining at least 50% of the water and then topping it back up. Just putting a bit of safe in there. You know, I always say keep things stupidly simple, and the reason why I use the term stupidly is because then you don't have to think about what you're doing. You've already thought about it. You just act, just do it, and then you don't have to stress yourself out over it. Because, with my opinion, it's not about doing it right once, it's about doing it time and time and time again. So if you keep everything simple, and then I know if I've got an hour spare in the day, I can do a water change. So I'll just set the water change up, drain the tank while I'm doing other things, kind of with one eye on it, and then fill it back up. I tend to sit and watch it fill back up. I don't tend to distract myself while it's draining. I don't mind, but filling back up, it fills up faster, and plus you're not gonna cause too many problems if you drain it. If you over drain it a bit, but if you overfill it, it causes a catastrophe, doesn't it? So you get a swampy floor. So yeah, that's I'm just trying to keep everything simple. So we'll just keep on top of everything, feeding the fish 3 times a day. Got the auto changer, and in my opinion, I think the auto changer is good because it's feeding it twice a day. I don't have to worry about little and often. The only criticism I've got is if you got it on the bottom setting, I think the pellets are too small for it to feed, so half a dozen pellets come out. And then if you put it on the next setting up, I think it drops like a tablespoonful of food in the tank. That might be a bit of an exaggeration, but it literally coats a big thing on the flat bottom of the tank, and I'm like, that's too much. So I'm kind of I feel like there should be a setting in between that, but maybe it's just I'm assuming it's just a bad match up of the food and the filter, the feeder, kind of if the pellets were a bit smaller or bigger, might feed better proportions, but there's much you can do about it, is there? But at the end of the day, I appreciate that it's feeding the fish twice a day for me with the staple, so can't really complain. Right, and then we come on to these. These are my cultures. This one is green water. I don't know whether you've seen it on my short, but this is my green water, and this is my duckweed culture to feed my goldfish with the duckweed. And then this one is my Daphne culture. I don't know whether, see if we can see some Daphne knocking around. It's kind of dusk now, so, but in the day it's just all, there's one there by the looks of it, but there's tons in here. In the day it's all glare, so I thought it'd come out at dusk. I can't seem to see nothing at the moment. Yeah, you can see a few big ones bopping about, but it's hard to see. You have to kind of catch them against the light background. But there's tons in there, and I just feed them this green water into there, and then I'm putting some aquarium fertilizer in there. You see all the like mosquito larvae on the top of there? I'm tempted to feed that to the goldfish, but I'm scared that the goldfish won't eat them, and then I'll just end up with a living room full of mosquitoes. Right, so there we have it. I've given you an update on everything that's going on, everything that's worked, everything I've changed. This is really how big a water change I do every few days. I know it takes me an hour, so once I've got a spare hour, I always do a water change while I'm recording, because I'm doing two things at once. I'm making a video while I'm recording, so just drain it down to about here, like I've said, and then fill it back up. I'll try and do that every 2-3 days. I know it's overkill, but I've made it stupidly simple, so I just keep doing it. Let me know what you think, guys. I know there's quite a few people watching who are a lot more experienced than me at fish breeding, or goldfish breeding, so you know, I'd be interested in your input, what you'd change, what you'd improve. And then I know there's a few people who've commented saying I've made them interested in maybe keeping goldfish. Let me know what you think. I'm really interested, really inspired by everyone. I'm just really enjoying being back in the goldfish hobby, and I just want to share it with everyone. I want to share my experiences, watch everyone else's experience, and you know, just enjoy the hobby together. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Take care, guys. See you soon.